Well, of course, basically, Delta Council was founded 75 years ago to address the problems of that day. And the problem of that day was highways, flood control, and agriculture. And that's basically, it was founded to try to make improvements in the structure of highways and flood control. And agriculture was a base of the Delta economy then, as it is today. And that was basically why Delta Council was founded. There was some needs there that were not being addressed, and a group of forward-looking people were involved and decided to try to address some of those problems, and they did at that time, and it's basically it's been working well ever since.
Who were some of those early pioneers in the movement?
Of course, if you're looking back, it's a whole list, and we have a whole list of presidents that were actually involved. And it was not only, in that day, it was not only a group of presidents, but it was also a group of local industry leaders who were willing to take leadership roles. And those people will continue to be involved. Families of those people, generations have been involved. The makeup of Delta Council then were business leaders, they were farmers, they were merchants, people who were interested in just the culture of things in the Delta. They were, and it's basically the same way today. Our membership today consists of not only people in agriculture, but bankers, merchants, automobile dealers, just a wide array, commodity organizations, just a wide array of people who are interested in, who are willing to put in resources and time, on a volunteer basis. Say, well, why Stoneville, and where is Stoneville? And people oftentimes do not identify with Stoneville being adjacent to Leland. We have the people who worldwide, when you say Stoneville, they normally think of the experiment state. We have a state facility and a federal facility here located at Stoneville. And depending on somewhere around, it's approximately 150 PhDs who do research work at this facility, and one of the larger facilities in the United States. And so it's a lot of technical research done here by some really highly qualified people. Of course, particularly on the state side, they do applied research, and that means that they take practices and try to develop farming practices here on the station that work in small plots, and then we as farmers take those and adapt them to a much larger scale. So we have a relationship there. We have constant dialogue with the experiment groups, telling them what problems we have, and they find ways to solve them. And they verify a lot of data that's presented by private companies. The experiment station takes it and verifies their data for its yield, how things work, and so solve a verifier of what actually private companies say. Particularly Mississippi Delta are blessed with a lot of resources: land, weather, climate, water. So we really have the ability to grow a multitude of crops. We really have a wider crop base than, say, the Midwest. So basically, the Midwest is actually corn and soybeans. We have an option up here, corn. We can also grow corn. We got cotton. We got rice. We got soybeans. We got grain sorghum. We got catfish. We have a lot of different. Our pickup of crop base is better than say maybe the Midwest. So we have a lot of options. But in dealing with that, sometimes we have more problems. Being located further south, we have more insect, we have more disease problems, we have more weed pressure. So we have specific needs that needs to be addressed by applied research, and that's where the research here at Stoneville is so valuable.